Okay. This post comes from the channel belonging to Jared Jaguar, my friend and colleague. Uh, Jared Jaguar is one of the heavy philosophers in these times. I'll let you read that. Okay. Excuse me. JJ leaves a lot of messages about authenticity. It is in you to follow through. Okay. Now, the words in purple there, I don't know that those are Jared's words, but he said, Jared does say, be authentic, be legendary, be you. Okay. And authenticity is really, I guess, the most important thing. I mean, let me tell you about an example. Hey, Push, it's good to see you, man. Uh, Here's an example. Let's say there's a person who is super excited about bird watching. For example, could be anything. But bird watching is what gets this person going, makes this person happy. When this person is not bird watching, things feel a little off, right? So this person really was was born to bird watch, right? And I know, and that's their authentic self. That's their authentic self to be bird watching. Okay. Now, some people would say that's not your authentic self. Your authentic self is nothing. It's to do with no identity, no ego. It's just light, just emptiness and God's light. Okay, I agree. But as far as the day to day, what a person does on the day to day basis, on a day to day basis, you know, that should be something that is your authentic self, right? Um, so back to the example of the bird watcher. And looking at these words to follow through. Be legendary, be you. And then down here, it is in you to follow through. Okay. And that's the message for tonight. It is in you to follow through, to be your authentic self. Now, that bird watcher, like any human, will have gone through trauma in their lives. And it's trauma. It's resentment that brings people down, so that they don't pursue their authentic selves, the things that they should be doing on the day to day. So it's so crazy how freedom is and free will. Like, we really are free. We can do what we want for the most part. I mean, we have to go to work and we have to follow rules and stuff like that. But we are free to do what we want to do. We have free will. And the bird watcher, you'd think it would be easy. Just get up and go outside with your binoculars and watch birds. But if a person has been through it, they might not have the strength to do even the smallest things. Um, Trauma and depression and PTSD, that's a hell of a thing. So the bird watcher will sit on their couch, and every day they'll think, man, maybe I should get up and go out and bird watch. But like they can't do it. They can't do it. The fatigue that trauma brings is too great. And then one day turns to 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and before you know it, they're not living authentically. And if, I'm not saying that this person needs to be bird watching every damn day of their lives. Sometimes a person has to take a break from their passions, from their authentic work, scratch passions. Sometimes a person has to take a break from their authentic work. Okay. So I'm not saying, you have to be doing it all the time. But if it disappears from your life, that could be problematic. And we've talked before, and now we're going to get into conspiracy theory stuff, what people call conspiracy theory stuff. We've talked about the Mandela effect a million times. And how one of the ideas that's put forward is this idea of a person shifting from one parallel Earth to another, from one timeline to another. And I've been talking about this, and Blue Pac-Man talks about this, how he's another person in the community you should check out. Check out those channels, Blue Pac-Man and Jared Jaguar. Those are two different channels, two different dudes. Blue Pac-Man and I have discussed this, how maybe the situation is when a person is sinning and not being authentic, maybe that person shifts into another universe, a parallel universe that's not as good as the one that was before. Right? So what I'm saying is that bird watcher, you think it's just their business and their business only, but it affects other people in that if that bird watcher is not being authentic, and shifts into another parallel universe. I know this sounds like crazy talk, but if a bunch of people are also not being authentic and not doing what they need to be doing, then maybe we are all shifting together into worlds that are worse than the previous ones. Now, I've said many times, you can't show me one single Mandela effect after all the thousands of examples that have been researched and documented. You cannot show me one Mandela effect that is an improvement. It's always something that's worse. That points to this idea that we're shifting into worlds that are worse than the worlds that were before, that we were at before. And everybody online is talking about it, how the 70s and 80s were the golden age, and these days are not. Everybody's talking about it. This might have to do not just with society crumbling and people not behaving in a civilized manner from top to bottom, from the top of the powers, the halls of power, to people on the street, including me, including you. We've all misbehaved, right? So that's what I'm getting at. If we're not authentic, and I don't want to, I just wanted to keep the birdwatcher example. I didn't want to bring us into it, but if everybody's ignoring what they need to be doing and not living in an authentic manner, maybe, we're all collectively shifting into worse places. And what if that bird watcher starts bird watching again and start doing things that are healthy and authentic again? And a bunch of people do the same thing. Will we start shifting into greater places? It's really, really key, this idea of authenticity. It sounds like just a buzzword because we hear it a lot, but it's really true how important it is to be authentic. Um, so those are my thoughts tonight, you guys. I just wanted to come by real quick and say that. Looks like some people are trickling in. Um, I wasn't planning on doing a long show. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Let's see. Pushing buttons. Great to see you, man. Let's move this message up. All right. Call for Zero is here. Welcome. Good to see you, Call. And JJ's here. Good to see you, man. Been quoting you.